What's poppin', fam? Welcome to Don't Touch My Mindset, a podcast that is designed to uplift, inspire, and motivate you, and most importantly, share tools to help you protect that mindset. It feels so good to be back. It feels so good to be back. I'm happy. Thank you so much for rocking with me. I know it's been a minute. It's been about 2 weeks, and I got a whole reason why I wanted to say story, but then that makes it sound like an excuse. I do apologize for not releasing 2 episodes, but we're going to make it up on the back end. I promise you that. We're not done. I'm not going to keep going. This isn't, this is going to address the growth at hand, right? I'm in a season of growth. I'm your host, Jay Chase. If this is your first time here, please press subscribe, rate, review, share this episode with a friend if anything resonates. But I wanted to tell the listeners I'm in a season of growth right now. We had to navigate, adjust, and then change our perspective to propel us forward. And that's what today's episode is about. It's actually titled Perspective Propels Growth. And it's about changing your perspective, the way you see challenges, the way you see obstacles, the way you overcome them, the way you look at change, maybe crises in your life, however we tend to handle those things. It's time to shift our perspective. One, so we can propel our growth, but most importantly, so nobody else can touch our mindset while we continue to move forward. I'm super happy that you're back. Thank you so much. We're gonna dive right into the episode. I love you guys. Like I said, please rate, review, share this episode with a friend if anything resonates. I always want to start with a quote, and today's quote comes from Lou Holtz. It's not the load that breaks you, it's the way you carry it. And I was like, this speaks perfect to what I've been through this past couple weeks. This speaks perfect to it because it's all about perspective. So I went up against some challenges, guys. My laptop blew up. My laptop just poof, gone out of nowhere. The day before, I did a presentation, did a coaching call, did everything on the laptop. We was working just fine. And then poof. Next day, when I was getting ready to work, getting ready to, go live with the Amplify workshop, I was ready to start selling tickets. We were ready to push this thing forward, and we feel like we're growing, and then we get met with a challenge. And then we get met with an obstacle. And it's not the load that breaks you, but it's the way that we carry it. And so I was like, perspective will propel your growth if you know how to look at adversity correctly, if you know how to look at challenges correctly. Perspective will give you the right lens to see the right opportunities to know exactly what your next move and your next level is. So my laptop blew out on me. Then I get in the car, get ready to go take the laptop to, where it needs to go to try and get it looked at, try and get it diagnosed. Then the car blow up on me. Oh man, the car. I was like, the car, not the car. For anybody who doesn't know, I drive a 99 Lexus with 62,000 miles. I've been in the car business over a decade. We get amazing trades. And this little old lady drove this Lexus from when she bought it brand new to when she traded it in for a new car in 2020, actually. Yeah, I've had this thing for 4 years. But it's just been an amazing car. That car don't owe me anything. And the spark plugs went out, and I was like, dang it. I take it into the shop, whatever. They give me a $1,500 bill. That's more than my laptop that just went out. I was like, wow, Lord, what's really going on? And so in the midst of adversity, in the midst of challenges, in the midst of those things, I'm able to choose my perspective. I have to choose my attitude. I got to know how I'm going to, one, talk to myself when I feel like everything else around me is on fire. That's point number 2, when changing your perspective to change your growth, right? Changing your perspective to push your growth forward. Changing your perspective to propel your growth. It's change how you talk to yourself. I get to choose that. I get to choose how I talk to. Is this coming from a place of lack, of fear, uncertainty, disappointment, discouragement, from a place of settling? Like, how am I going to speak to myself when the world's on fire around me? I get to choose that. I get to say, hey, you know what? This is unfortunate, but I believe we're going to make it through. I think there's a solution. I'm able to see the resolve in the situation. I'm able to push past it, and not in a push past it way like, oh, you need grit, you need willpower. No, simply you need to change your perspective, because all things work for the good of those who believe that things work for the good, those who believe in the Lord, those who believe that the universe is working for them and with them, right? I don't believe things happen to me. I believe things happen for me. So number one, change how you talk to yourself. When my car blow out, Jay, how does that happen for you instead of to you? That sounds like it happened very, very much to you. Well, it was just one spark plug that went out, and I actually had to replace all of them because the car was so nice. It's never been replaced. So I did all of them. And now I won't have this problem again in 3 to 6 months. So this happened for me to bring awareness to my attention, and I got to adjust accordingly. So what are you carrying that you should be carrying a little differently? What's the load look like right now? If it's negative and it's heavy and you're saying that you don't know how you're going to carry this or get past this load, we got to shift the way that we're going to carry it. We got to shift our perspective in the situation. We had a meeting with the community and the mentorship program on the Success Circle call. And one of our amazing community members shared that she was FaceTiming with a family member who's young, or I think it was like one of the young childs in the family, and she would put on the iPhone emoji face to entertain the child. I do it for Kaizen all the time. And she said, hey, can you put on the ice cream face? And so she goes looking for the ice cream emoji on there, can't find the ice cream emoji, but she found the poop emoji. And it dawned perspective. The little kid don't know if that's ice cream or poop. It could be chocolate ice cream, right? But it's perspective. It's a smiley ice cream face, unless it's the poop head face, right? If it's the poop head face, we're gonna be feeling poopy. But it's perspective that, hey, this is a good moment, and I don't have to put a negative agreement to this emoji, but also look at it from a lens that the way that the little kid looks from it, and use my imagination and say, let's flip the situation here. It's chocolate ice cream. Now, unless it's really, but no, this emoji's chocolate ice cream to this kid. And it was the most beautiful thing I ever heard, because throughout life, we lose that perspective to see things differently, or what they could be, versus seeing that this is what it is and this is always what it would be. And that's what pushes people away from the 90-day personal growth challenge that I've created, is that, Jay, I can't grow. I've always been this way. 90 days is a really long time. I don't know if I can commit to something that long. I got to try it out first. How many of y'all want test drives before you try something out? I get it, right? I get it. It's a huge investment. But it's a worthy investment when you're making it for yourself. When you're making the investment into yourself, we got to understand that, it's worth the challenge. It's worth the trial. It's worth the tribulation. And some people actually think it's easier to stay where they are, and it's better to stay where they are. Some people think growth is automatic. And I've done a whole podcast episode where your growth actually has to be intentional for you to see the results. And if you work hard enough and long enough, it becomes really hard not to see results. So, one, what's the load you're carrying right now? What is it, right? Is it changing your self-awareness? Is it becoming a better leader? Is it communicating better? Maybe it's just intentional growth. Maybe you're looking for that next level and want a new operating system. What's that load that you're carrying? And then secondly, how are you carrying it? Because I don't believe it's the load that will break you. I believe it's how we carry it. And how we carry it can do wonders on our growth, right? We are not what we did, but we are what we consistently do. I've made mistakes. Everybody made mistakes. Great leaders have made mistakes. But how we carry that load's a little bit different. I use my mistakes to fuel my passion and my purpose and my personal growth. Some people use their mistakes to keep them held back and where they thought that they could have been or where they should have been. And they become best friends with coulda, woulda, and shoulda. And then they stay in the same spot for way longer than they're intended to. Don't let your mistakes of the past define what you do on a daily. Make a decision once, and then we manage that decision daily, right? Like, decide where you want to go, and then manage how you're going to get there every single day. Decide that, this point in my life is not ideal, and I don't want to identify with this area. I don't want to identify with this season anymore. Now we propel our growth forward. We change how we carry the load. I want you to change how you look at life. I want you to change how you speak to yourself. I want you to be more kind to yourself. I want you to encourage yourself. The moment you stop comparing yourself and start empowering yourself is the moment that you start experiencing the growth that you've always been expecting. And I want us to shift from expecting growth to experiencing the growth. That was last season. We expected growth everywhere that we showed up. Now we get to experience the growth wherever we go. And we know how to take it in. We know how to fuel it. We know how to energize it. And we also know what drains it. If you're struggling right now with accountability, if you're struggling right now with seeing that next level, if you're struggling right now with falling short on your goals, change your perspective, change the way you carry the load. I invite you to do that with us. We have a new round of the 90-day personal growth challenge that's starting April 1st, right? We're doing open enrollment this upcoming Tuesday. So I believe that's March 26th, somewhere around there, right? I'm sorry, I'll put the official date in the show notes, but this upcoming Tuesday, we have open enrollment for the 90-day personal growth challenge. Now, this is a challenge that requires you to commit to your personal growth for 90 days. See what you can become if you did something consistently for 90 days. Self-action, self-learning, and most importantly, self-care, right? It's making that decision, deciding once, and then managing it daily. This challenge will help you change the way that you carry your load. And it will help you change your perspective on where you see yourself that you could be. It will help you propel your growth forward. And we have an amazing community. Over 360 people have indulged in this challenge. And this is my second round. I got to retrospect and think about the first 90 days of the year. We're on day 80. We only got 10 more days before the next 90 days, before this quarter's over, right? Quarter one's done. So I got to ask myself, am I where I want to be? Did I do the things I said I was going to do? Am I on track to hit the goals that I set January 1st? And if you're not, or if you have any type of doubt, you have any type of insecurity about where you're headed, the 90-day personal growth challenge is where you need to be. I love you guys. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Thank you for tapping in, tuning in. If anything resonated with you from this episode, please share, rate, review. It all helps the show grow. But most importantly, come back next week. We're back with a brand new mindset, brand new episode. I'm working on pivotal moments. My laptop blew up, so I lost everything. So like I always say, knowing what you know now, start over. I love you guys. Until next time, stay focused, stay inspired, stay connected, and please, 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 don't let anyone touch your mindset.